get it. They ask questions, they get answers, they're disappointed. What he did was shiesty. In this aspect, what he did was shiesty. You asked the question, she answered, and then you completely ignored her answer. Why ask then? What's the point? Hi people, welcome back. We're covering episode 3 of Better Late Than Single. If you guys hear tinkering, my brother's just working on his computer right here, so it should be fine. Usually the editing software takes care of it, but if you hear it, it's from my side, so no worries. The episode started out with Song Chang and Yo Myung, and they're just chatting. Obviously, it's like 20 minutes. I think it's 10 minutes per girl because he gets 20 minutes, each for the 2 girls that he picks. So I guess 10 minutes each. And they're just casually chatting. She's laughing. She's doing her smiles and everything. She asks why he chose her. And he's like, I like girls who smile a lot. Then I think they brought up the question of his type. And he said he doesn't really know his type. He needs more dating experience. And she's like, you're the only one who's been in a 100-day relationship amongst everybody here. How can you need more experience? And he's like, yeah, that it's crazy. The whole story actually saying that it's crazy that makes him the game changer because he has the most experience out of everybody. But that it literally is nothing when in the grand scheme of things, I just find it so funny. Perspective really is everything. And it was just so funny. Like, honestly, when they said he was the game changer, that he dated for only 100 days, I was like, player, who brought in the bad boy? I don't know, if I found it funny. I was laughing my head off for a solid minute. Anywho, I really wasn't paying attention because I didn't really think that there was a spark there. So moving on, they get a text that there's a random spot date. And it will be women's choice. So women pick any envelope, and then they go to different areas in the ES villa. Sangho and Jizu were paired up somehow, kind of just worked out that way. And then Sangho, I don't know what it is. So at first I thought that in episode 2, I thought that it was creative editing for him and that it wasn't as bad as it seemed. But I think it was really as bad as it seemed. And I think that it may have been worse than it was. I feel like the edits may have been better than the actual date. Because in this, I don't know if he gets nervous or if in his head it plays out a little differently. And Jisoo's my favorite girl. I don't even care what she does by the end of this show. She's my favorite, guys. I just like her. She's very direct, like just knows what she wants and goes after it. Maybe too direct for this crowd, if I'm being honest, because it almost seems like everything she says shocks the men, and it's like, all she literally said was, you're my first pick. Like, why are you so aghast, So I feel like she is kind of like the female game changer for me. I just feel like she knows what she wants and she goes after it. I respect that. Anyway, Sang-ho starts the conversation about, the game changer was really a surprise, right? So he's talking about Song Chan throughout this whole thing. And Jisoo is like, he's not my type, so I don't really care. I wasn't actually listening whether he was a doctor or 31. He's not my type. I'm not interested. She literally said this like 2 times. But he kept on talking. At one point, she's like, I don't even know why we're talking about the other people. We should be talking about us. And I'm just sitting there looking at Sangho like, what are you doing? How does this play out in your mind? I don't understand it. Sangho tells her that he thinks she's younger than him and then goes further to say, but I like older women. It's almost like he is manufacturing his own woman repellents in that defense contract industry that he works in. And he just comes and he's like, zzz. Every single thing he says to this girl, it just pushes her further away from him. She then asks him to score her, I think on a scale of 10, but then he takes too long. And then she's like, okay, no. I think he does rate her high, but she's like, no, it almost seemed too forced. Never mind. So obviously after the date, she's disappointed. But he's thinking that it all went well. And he's like, he's hoping for a new single. And I'm like, okay, are you hoping for a new single because you want to keep your options open? Like, the hosts... we were all confused because I didn't understand. I can't get into his mindset. I don't know what it is that he's thinking, what he's looking for. I just don't get it. He then goes on to explain that he's hoping that a new person will be into him. So my guess is that maybe none of the girls right now are his type. And I guess he doesn't know how to express that, or he doesn't want to hurt feelings. But still, I'm so confused. He had me scratching my head, to be honest, and I just didn't understand. Then we move on to Minhong and Jaehyun. And she gets two guys. She gets Jaehyun and Jungkook. She's actually excited because these are the two people she initially, picked. But I think she's more excited for Jungkook than anybody else. They're talking, and then how did she even put it? So she's trying to give Jungkook signs, right? She's like, yes, I'm interested in this one person because he's the only person that I've talked to the most throughout my entire time here. And then she turns to him and says, you are the one that I have talked to the most. So essentially, she's saying, I've only talked to one person, and that's the person I'm interested in, Jungkook. You are the only person that I've talked to the most, aka, I'm interested in you. I don't think he got the hint because Jungkook is still on his pink Barbie. She then asks for the first impression, like their first impression of her. And Jaehyun tends to drop these one-liners that are savage. He did it in the car ride when they were going for their skating, and he's doing it again. In the car ride, he said something like, usually the most popular people always end up in the trash. And everybody was like, whoa, 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 whoa. He wasn't wrong. On shows like this, usually people that start out really popular always get like nothing by the end. So I got the reference, but the way he phrased it was just a little So again, when Minhong says, what's your first impression of me? He just straight out said, bossy. Jungkook was like, I don't want no smoke. I'm not touching that. Jungkook left him to die. I was dying. The poor boy. And Jaehyun is like, you touch him, he goes into his shell instantly. So obviously the reaction, she was very disappointed. I'm like, if you don't want the answer, don't ask the question. I just I don't get it. They ask questions, they get answers, they're disappointed. If you want to be the Lulu, be the Lulu. Don't ask for clarification and then make people guilty that they answered your question. I get it. Maybe he could have phrased it differently. But this is not the place. All of you are lacking social skills at this point in time for some reason or the other. So I'm just saying, have grace. So he's like, oh, no, that's not what I meant. He was getting more and more flustered, obviously. And then he got quieter and quieter and quieter. At some point, he had almost like wrapped himself into himself on that seat. And I felt so bad for the guy. But I get what he meant. My first impression of her was that she was giving Wednesday Addams. And it's like, there's this cold air that just comes with her. I like Wednesday, don't get me wrong. I like it. But it's going to make you very hard, like, it's going to make it hard for people to approach you if your vibe is fuck off and die, Rita. Like, seriously. So Jungkook kind of like wanted to, I guess, ease the tension and everything. So he said his first impression of her was petite and cute. Now, what Jungkook doesn't know is that this girl is falling for him hard. So everything he's saying is written, that confidence, which we like, but also giving her hope that maybe he likes her. And by the time she's doing a debrief with the girls, I swear down, between she and G1, or Jion, I keep calling her G1. Jion, I don't know who is more Delulu between the two of them. It's a very interesting dynamic that's happening right now in the house. So obviously she liked it. She thought that Jungkook was giving her a compliment, which he kind of was. But she's thinking that maybe they are vibing each other and they like each other. He's just like, I'm comfortable around Minhong, and so it's easy for me to hang out with her, but my feelings haven't changed. I still like my pink Barbie, I call her Pink Barbie, guys. It's dope. Anyways, they flip over to Pink Barbie and Seungri, and she is giving him come F me eyes, like, throughout this whole thing, and I'm like, girl, you gotta confirm first if he likes you. I mean, this is her own way. Like, she's trying to show him that I'm interested in you. She's flirting with her eyes, flirting with her whole body, everything. At one point, she was asking him, do you like my hair up or my hair down? And I'm like, okay, I get that you're fishing for compliments, but if it's not given freely, it's not given truly. Just saying. Anywho, they're talking, she's like, he can't even look her in the face. I don't know that he's interested in this girl whatsoever, and that gets confirmed, as we go on. They were chatting about some things. Here's the thing, Pink Barbie rubbed me the wrong way on her date with Hyunkyu. It was given a little narcissistic, and it just rubbed me the wrong way. So I had to physically remind myself to stay present whenever she was on my screen, because I really did check out. I would have to backtrack. I'm like, okay, no, it's okay to side eye her for now, But don't write her off completely. Her story is her story, and let's just go with it. If the tendencies continue, then I'll clock out, guys. I don't even have time. I don't have time for time wasters. But I had to recheck myself and say, okay, no, don't do this. Like, let's see her story. Let's see how, because I did actually like the way she was interacting with Sungli. I would have hoped that maybe she toned it down a little bit and confirmed maybe like what he was feeling first before, you know, putting it all out there that, you know, I'm all for you or something. Because that's, her vibe was very much giving, let's run off into the sunset together. And his vibe was, I want to be in this place right now. Just saying. Anyway, she was flirting up a storm. Basically is what it was. And then once they were done, because they only actually got 15 minutes each for these like spot dates, once they were done, she went off to the suite to have her date with Song Chang. They did show, but there was nothing really there either for her. She's very one-track minded right now, so I wasn't bothered about it. Neither for him, I don't think. Then they switch over to Jizu and Hyunkyu, and you can just tell that the vibes with him are completely different from Sangho. So he tells her that he's really shy and he can't hold the gaze. I thought that was cute of him. At least she will know why he can't really look her in the face. Just be honest. That's the thing with these guys. They just need to be honest. So she asked him, who was your first impression? Was I your first impression pick? And he confirms it that she was. She then tells him that hers was Sangho, but that Kyun-hyun is her second choice type. Like, she basically called the second choice, but he was happy. He's like, I have hope, man. That he thought that it was only going to be Sangho for the longest, like, and that's who she was interested in. But the fact that she said he was also on the roster gave him hope. It didn't matter whether he was second choice or not. I just like the energy between them. I think he gave her the energy that she'd been looking for. He was present, he was listening, he was engaged, and that's all the girl asked for. Sangho, I'm not really sure what's going on with that guy. I really don't know. So in her one-on-one interview, she said if Sangho's 95%, Kyun-hyun is about 93. So at least he's up there. That's all done. The girls then, there was one more date, I think, between Ji-yeon and Jungmook, but we don't even get to see it in its entirety. We only see flashes of it when the girls are debriefing that night. And during the debrief, it kind of turned into a Jungmook discussion. Everybody three girls seem to be interested in Jungmook. All of a sudden, he's now the most popular guy. So Minhong, Yeomyung, and Jiyeon, all of a sudden, and that's when we see flashes of their own conversation during the 15-minute spot date. And Minhong is thinking that the boys like her because she had this Jaehyun had asked her this question, you know, about what would she do if she and her friend liked the same person, and she just assumed that he liked her because Jungmook also likes her. And it was just this was another case of the Lulu is the Solulu, and it's really not the Solulu, because she has now created this narrative in her head that Jungmook is interested in her. A man can't think beyond Pink Barbie. He sees nobody else. All he sees is Pink Barbie, and Pink Barbie does not even see him at all. She sees only Seungli. It's the freaking conga line, guys. Freaking conga line never fails. Yeomyung has this conversation with her mom before bed, and she's just talking about how, you know, how the whole thing is going on and how she's losing confidence. Then she says to her mom that she's interested in Jungmook, but other girls are, and she'd asked Jungmook to skate with her when they were on their three-way dates. And he said no, he was tired. And I was like, that's not true. That's not true. If we're going to tell stories, tell it right. You literally just lied on this poor boy's head. You asked a general question and you said, who wants to go back with me? You should have been more specific and said, Jungmook, would you like to go skate with me? And then had he turned you down, then you would have known that that's a definite not interested. Or no, you put it generally to everybody and you got a choice. At least somebody wanted to go with you. Let's start there. I didn't like it because it was a straight out lie, and it's like, now your mom is sitting there thinking this boy rejected my baby. Why will your mom like him? So in the end, I went too far. I just didn't like the narrative. It wasn't true, and I didn't like that she sold that narrative. Anyway, day 3, they get a 5-minute library quiz. The first person or the first 3 people to solve the quiz and get the code get 5 minutes in the library. Yeon was the first person to get access. She chose Jungkook, obviously. Then Jungkook was next, and he chose Pink Barbie's book. We don't actually see who goes in third. Maybe I wasn't paying much. I feel like I was looking at the screen, but we don't see the third person. But they now backtrack to earlier in the day, and apparently, 2 people had received personal messages in their mailbox. Songli and was it Jungkook? Yes, Jungkook and Songli had received personal messages in their mailbox. I think Jungkook's was from Minhong. They don't tell us who it was. And Songli's was definitely from Do, Pink Barbie. He knew, even he was like, it's just based on the message, he knew that it was from Pink Barbie. Hold on to that tidbit because it comes into play later. They send them a message that there's going to be a one-on-one matching, and the way that will be decided will be through a claw machine, and it will be women's choice. Now take into account that the women are more than the men, so somebody was going to be staying at home alone. First person to go was Pink Barbie. She was aiming for Songli's, but she didn't get it, unfortunately. Jungkook saw whose teddy bears she was going for, and that he got sad a little bit. He keeps saying, every time he doesn't get a chance with her, he keeps saying, tomorrow I will get one-on-one with her. Tomorrow. And in this kind of situation, I get that it is produced and they give them what's it called, interaction time and everything. But personally, when they have their evenings and everything, I would be more proactive if I was him, because Pink Barbie he's not on her radar at all. He is not even included in the roster. He's off the charts, So I feel like if he were more proactive, and she seems like the kind of person, I mean this both in a good and bad way. I think she's a taker, if I'm being honest. So I feel like if he is proactive and he shows her interest, she will absorb that and she will notice him more. He's not. But in his one-on-one interview, he's like, I didn't even get time to spend with her. I'll try tomorrow. I didn't get time to spend with her. I'll try tomorrow. I will do it tomorrow. And it's like, tomorrow will never come. But hopefully he does get his chance. Next was Yeon, and she went for Jungkook as well, and that was a bust. I don't know if he noticed or not. Jizu then got hers, and she got it on the first try, and she chose Hyun-kyu, which instantly meant, because ain't nobody checking for this dude, it instantly meant that Sangho was going to be staying at home alone. I knew it. The way the hosts were laughing there, I like them as hosts. I don't know who it was. I think it was, they left a comment saying that they too like the host as host because they are more fun. Yes, they said perhaps you already watched more and realized yourself, but it appears that after the initial meeting with the participants, the Cupids become simply observers, at least through the rest of the first 3 episodes. And they go on to say this is a relief. I did feel that in episode 2, and I was like, I prefer them as just hosts. They are doing a fantastic job as hosts, but I think it's the word Cupid / mentors that was setting me off. If they had just said, okay, we will be your cheerleaders, that would have been the best word for them. That word is the Cupid mentors that was doing me in, but essentially they're just cheerleaders. So even they were laughing their minds off. Because someone was thinking, yeah, it's a lock-in. She really likes me, so he expects that he's the one that's going to go on a date with her. I think she made the right choice. She's already been on a date with Sangho, so why not go on a date with Hyun-kyu and then compare the experiences and see who better fits into your life. I thought that she made the right choice. And Jizu doesn't fail. I have faith in my girl, I feel like she's going to make the right choice for herself in the end, and I'm okay with it. Next was then Minhong, and she got the person that she wanted. She got Jungkook. He didn't really look happy about that, but it is what it is. Next was Ji-won. Ji-yeon. Why do I keep calling her Ji-won now? Ji-yeon, and she got Jaehyun, which I guess that's who she wanted, so she was very happy. I was actually happy for her. You know what? Let her go and see if there's anything there and experience that for herself. I was happy for her. Like I said during these shows, I think everybody should experience dating everybody at least once, because that is how you truly know where everybody lines and who fits into whose life. Do then went Pink Barbie, and she got Sungli, who she wanted. Very happy. She was very happy about that. And then Yeon went and she got Songchan. I don't know I don't know how that's gonna go, but at least they had that 10-minute talk the night before, so there's a little familiarity at least between them. Jizu and Hyun-kyu, they really seem to have fun during their dates. You know, she's a straight shooter, man. She's just like, I'm really silly usually with my friends and everything. Can I be silly with you? And he kind of just played along. She was laughing up a storm, so was he. They were being silly together, being quirky. She has this quirky, I think I said it in my first review, she has this quirky energy about her, and I kind of dig it. I really just like this girl. And I think he seems to be a better path for her. Now, the only slip up that I feel like was the damper in the whole thing is that because they're in the beach, they're on Jeju, right? So they went to this rocky part, and he was just pointing out places where she needed to be careful, while he should have instead offered his hand. Now, when he goes to his one-on-one, he does explain it, and it makes sense. He's like, she seems like an independent person, so he didn't want to do anything to offend her. But here's the thing. You offer, and if she says no thank you, at least you can confirm your suspicions. Because even by the end of it, she's like, this is where I thought that you would offer me your hand. And he's like, no, I thought you would offer to hold my hand. It was a funny moment. The host didn't really like that. But I got it. He was joking, you know. And I got it because he's quirky too, like that. And they pan to Sangho, and he's having ramyeon back at the house, and then decides to do a workout. Then we go over to Seungri and Pink Barbie, and they are having a beach date, and they're doing paddle yoga. So the instructor is trying to get them to do something where they're touching, and where there's physical contact. She literally asks them, is that okay? Pink Barbie said, no, it is not okay. But instructor still says, do it anyways. And it's like, do we not have boundaries anymore? The girl was obviously uncomfortable, and it wasn't like she didn't want to touch him. That was not the point. But it was their first meeting. They're already socially awkward. Like, don't force it, you know. I felt bad for her in that moment, because you asked the question, she answered, and then you completely ignored her answer. Why ask then? What's the point? What's the fucking point? It wasn't like it was bad. It was just their feet touching. But if she says she's not uncomfortable, let's respect it. Please. There are other formations that they could have done, you know, that didn't require physical touch or them facing each other so early on. I thought that the instructor was out of line. But anyways, they go over that. They play in the water a little bit. He was actually very involved during the date, but you could tell that he was just being present in the moment, but not romantic. For me, I could tell. I don't know if she took it that way, because again, scenarios have been created in their heads, and they've really just run off in the sunset with the people that they like. And I feel like Pink Barbie is a scenario kind of girl, if you know what I mean. So afterwards, I think they're in a cafe, and why did this girl say is the door in obrigado silent? Even my brother was laughing his head off. I wanted to die. So she's like, could you teach me how to say thank you in Portuguese? And he was like, obrigado. That was so funny. That was a funny moment for me, I tell you. She then asked again about his first impression. She gives me jealous type. And I think a little jealousy is healthy, but she gives me tap. Because why? Why do you care? It doesn't, like I say, on these shows, it doesn't matter who the person is interested in. You focus on him or her and do your thing. Just shine on your own. I'm gonna shine when I'm gonna shine. You know? I don't know why people get so obsessed with who the other person likes. It's almost like, I feel like she's asking because she wants to see the type that he likes, so that she can form herself into that type in order to appeal more to him. And I don't like that. Be you. Oh God. I don't know. I just don't like it. I don't like it. It's not just her. I don't like it. A lot of them were very obsessed with who first impressions were. And he's like, I don't think we need to discuss that. But she's like, you can tell me. You can tell me. Just tell me. And he's like, no comment, sis. He's a marketer, so he knew how to shut that down real quick. And I was okay with that. No comment. You don't need to know. You don't need to know. If I want to tell you, I'll tell you. If I don't want to tell you, you can't force me. That kind of deflated her bubble a little bit. That was the beginning of the decline, honestly, for being Pink Barbie during this date. She then asked about the mailbox letter, and she's like, did you get anything in your mailbox? So obvious. So for me, personally, what he did was shysty. In this aspect, what he did was shysty. Because if she asks you, you know damn straight that she's the one that sent it, because you know your roommate didn't get one, so obviously it was specific to somebody. So if she asks you, she knows about it, it means that she wrote it. He already knew, but he said yes, he got it, but he doesn't know who it's from. And then he went on to embellish that, you know, mystery of, ooh, who could it be from? Who could it be from? He lied. He straight up lied. And this was why I did not agree with the host, because the hosts were like, yeah, they understand why he did it and they agree with him because he didn't want to lead her on. No, I don't agree with it. I don't think a lie is ever the solution to anything, because he damn well knew it was her. He could have easily just said, oh, was that you? Oh, I really appreciated it. Thank you so much. But I felt more gratitude than anything else for your letter. It's a rejection. It's a little harsh, but it's also compassionate. And that's all he needed to do. Guys, I get it. I'm a seasoned professional when it comes to dating. I get it. But this has really nothing to do with dating. This is just communication. In my own, I don't know. It's just me. Let me know in the comments what you think. Let me know in the comments, because I don't know. I didn't agree with it. I didn't agree with him lying. You know, I just didn't appreciate that, because he damn well knew that she sent it. So obviously, it just kept going down for her. The balloon like just kept. It was not good for Pink Barbie after that. Anyways, he said that his type is called Aura, and someone who is hard to approach, so complete opposite of who she is. Now, don't get me wrong, she's been asking all these questions, trying to get to know him, so he's answering. And then later on their way back, he asked if she's the kind of person to continue going after somebody when she knows that the person is interested in somebody else. And she says yes, that this time, that usually she gives up, but this time around she won't give up. She will try not to give up on the person that she likes. Although it looked like she was giving up, she looked like she was crying in the one-on-one.
어떡해요?
And this was where I really, really felt for her. And this was where I saw her again. I've been side-eyeing her for a long time, but when I saw her, you know, being heartbroken and everything, I was like, okay, this is sad. And I felt for her. I may not like her approach to things, but I really don't want to see anybody heartbroken. I hate seeing people heartbroken, you know. So I really did feel for her, but I hope she bounces back, and I hope she finds somebody. There's somebody waiting for her. She just hasn't noticed him, you know. And then they pan back to Sangho and they tell him that he needs to get ready and go out to a restaurant. And when he gets there, someone greets him konnichiwa, and I was like, Japan? They brought in a Japanese girl, so it's a new single. We don't see her face. But why Japan though? I was super excited at first because it reminded me of Love Like a K-drama, where it was Japan and Korea and they were mixing it together. However, I'm a little bit worried about the language barrier. I hope that there's a single in the house that at least speaks, or multiple that speak Japanese, and I hope that she speaks a little Korean, because I don't know how I feel about it. I just don't know how I feel about it yet. So we'll see in episode 4 moving forward and the rest, and we'll see how that all pans out. My guess is that Sangho is going to be Sangho during these dates. I feel like Sangho might leave single, guys. I feel like Sangho might leave single, because I'm not really sure that he remembers why he came on this show. Or maybe he's just a slow burn, and after a while he'll wake up. Because he says all the right things in the one-on-one interviews, but when it comes to seeing somebody in person, it's a complete 180, and it boggles my mind. It really does. I love the show. I think it's gonna be fantastic. Yeah, I'll see you guys in the next batch of episodes. I will probably lump them together if I can. And since they're coming out, when are they coming out? On the 15th? When is the 15th? On Thursday. I'll probably do the episodes maybe by the weekend as well. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the recap review. I loved it. Let me know your comments in the comment section how these all went down for you. I don't know if you're watching it, if you watched it, the whole thing. Just let me know your comments, guys. And I'll see you in the next one. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. And yeah, bye.